Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to our June 1st Snug Harbor Morning Reflection. I'm glad you're with us. I hope you guys had an okay weekend. I know it was a little rough. Sounds like we had some really good food, good things happening, some bad things happening, but we know that every day that we have in recovery is a victory. Every day that we can celebrate how far we've come is a victory. And I know we spent the last couple of days talking about step 3, and as I was talking with Tom on Saturday, he mentioned to me that the initial action of turning my life and my will over to a higher power, that's never been the problem. But it's the continual action of having to really implement that every single minute, second, hour of our day, to continually do it. That's where the struggle, because we don't necessarily like to give up control. We like to be in charge, and being in charge has gotten us to where we are. So as we think on that, and as we progress and we're moving on to step 4 today, let's open with our serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Amen. As we think on that this morning, let us start with our opening song.
In my wrestling and in my doubts, in my failures, you won't walk out. Your great love will lead me through. You are the peace in my troubled sea. Whoa, you are the peace in my troubled sea. In the silence, you won't let go. In the questions, your truth will hold. Your great love will lead me through. You are the peace in my troubled sea. Whoa, you are the peace in my troubled sea. My lighthouse, shining in the darkness, I will follow you. Oh, my lighthouse, I will trust the promise. You will carry me safe to shore, safe to shore, safe to shore, safe to shore. I won't fear what tomorrow brings. With each morning I'll rise and sing. My God's love will lead me through. You are the peace in my troubled sea. Whoa, you are the peace in my troubled sea. Oh, you are my light, my lighthouse, shining in the darkness, I will follow you. Oh, my lighthouse, I will trust the promise. You
So as we move away from step 3 and into step 4. In step 4, we made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. Now, I'll be honest with you guys. Many people get through step 1, get through step 2, and even get through to the point where they feel like they can turn their life and their will over to their higher power, whatever that may be, in step 3. And then they hit step 4, and they stop. In step 4, they feel that it's too much. Too much work, too much pain, too much anxiety, too much fear. You know, many of us will falter at the prospect of making an honest, personal inventory. We're going to have all sorts of rationalizations and excuses on why we need to avoid this step. And yet the bottom line is we realize deep down inside that there is an enormous amount of sadness that awaits us in doing this personal inventory. And we fear the pain that facing the sadness will bring us. The Jewish people who had been exiled for years finally returned to Jerusalem from captivity. They had lost touch with their higher power, with their God. During the exile, they hadn't been taught the law. So naturally, they hadn't practiced the laws either. After returning from exile, they rebuilt the city walls and they rebuilt the temple. And the Jewish priests gathered the people together to read the book of the law. And as they read the law, the people were overwhelmed with grief and began sobbing, because their lives in no way measured up to the law. And the priest said to them, "Don't mourn or weep on such a day as this, for today is a sacred day before the Lord your God." He said, "Go and celebrate with a feast of rich foods and sweet drinks, and share gifts of food with people who have nothing prepared. For the joy of the Lord is your strength." And this day marked the beginning of a Jewish feast called the Festival of the Tabernacles. A feast which celebrated their escape from bondage in Egypt and their higher powers care for them as they wandered in the wilderness. We, like the Jewish exiles, have wandered in the wilderness for a long time. We've been lost and we've been separated. And when we begin to make this searching and fearless moral inventory, it is overwhelming. Because in this inventory, we begin to see in all the areas where we did not live up to our potential. This is why it's so important that we do a solid step 3 before tackling this step. Because we will need the joy of our higher power to give us strength. And this joy comes from recognizing and even celebrating that our higher power has the ability to bring us out of bondage and to care for us as we pass through the sadness that we face in this moral inventory into our new way of life. Step 4 is one of the few steps in our morning reflections that we actually spend 4 days on because it is such a significant step. And this morning I want to look with you at the role of your sponsor or accountability partner as it relates to the 12-step program, especially from step 4 on. Because guys, having a sponsor is a very key element to your recovery. Recovery has 4 key elements to success. First, to the best of our ability, we need to maintain our honest view of reality as we work each step. The best way to ensure this is to have a sponsor and a strong accountability team. Someone who can keep you in check, can have those tough, honest conversations with you. Secondly, you need to make meetings a priority in your schedule. Knowing that a sponsor will be there for you and to know when you are not there is added incentive to making this part of your routine. Third, we have to keep connected to our higher power and continually draw strength and wisdom and guidance. And fourth, as time progresses and you find your freedom in recovery, maybe you will one day consider taking on the role of a sponsor. So what do you need to look for in a sponsor? As you are assessing who is going to be your sponsor, we want to look to make sure their walk matches their talk. We want to make sure they're doing what they're telling you to do. Does your sponsor express the desire to help others on the road to recovery? Does your sponsor show compassion and care and hope, but not pity? Is your sponsor a good listener? Is your sponsor strong enough to confront your denial or your procrastination? And can your sponsor share their struggle with others? So what's the role? What does your sponsor do? Your sponsor is there to discuss issues in detail that are too personal or would take too much time to discuss in meetings. Sponsors are there to encourage you and support you and to supplement the work that is done in meetings, but to do it on a deeper level, more personal, more intimate, one-on-one, as you confront these issues. Your sponsor should be available in times of crisis or potential relapse. That #1 number in your phone on speed dial should be your sponsor. So when you're struggling, when you're tempted, you hit that number and you know your sponsor will pick up. Your sponsor also serves as a sounding board by providing an objective point of view. Your sponsor is there to give you an alternative view, an objective point of view, as you work through these steps. Your sponsor is there to encourage you to work the steps at your speed, but not to work the steps for you. Working the steps can only be done by you. But your sponsor is there to encourage you and to keep you moving on the journey through the steps. And your sponsor should model or attempt to model the lifestyle from actually working the steps. This is the result of working the steps. This is where I have come from. This is where we can get you to as well. So how do you find a sponsor? Well, first of all, it's highly recommended that your sponsor should be of the same gender that you are. This avoids potential conflicts of interest in relationships that could complicate your recovery. Secondly, as you're attending meetings, listen to those who are sharing. Do you resonate with what a particular person is saying? If so, grab coffee with that person. Listen to those in your group meetings. See who you click with. But make sure you take the time to get to know the person before just jumping in. It doesn't have to be an instantaneous decision. It doesn't have to be the first person you talk to. Sponsors are vital for success in this 12-step program. They're almost as vital as having that higher power. Because what you're going to face in step 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, if you try to do it without a strong sponsor and without your higher power, it's nearly impossible. Today, I want success for you. I want success in your recovery journey. And it comes by preparing yourself for what comes next after step 3. As you journal, you can start working on your step 4. In step 4, we do a searching and fearless moral inventory. We always want to keep it balanced because I know that your life is not all negative. We list the good things and the bad that we have done, taking account to note those that we have hurt and those that have hurt us. We be as detailed as possible, thorough. In this step, we face the pain that we've caused and the pain that has been inflicted upon us. But we never do it alone. We do it with the help of our higher power. As we think on that this morning, let us focus on our song of reflection on the day ahead. Would you listen with me?
I know it's all you've got to just be strong. And it's a fight just to keep it together. I know you think that you are too far gone, but hope is never lost. Hope is never lost. Hold on, don't let go. Hey, hold on, don't let go. Just stay one step closer. Put one foot in front of the other. You'll get through this. Just follow the light in the darkness. You're gonna be okay. I know your heart is heavy from those nights, but just remember that you are a fighter. know just what tomorrow holds. And you're stronger than you know. You're stronger than you know. Hold on, don't let go. Hey, hold on, don't let go. Just take one step closer, one foot in front of the other. You'll get through this. Just follow the light in the darkness. One step closer, one foot in front of the other. You'll get through this. Just follow the light in the darkness. You're gonna be okay. And when the night is closing, don't give up and don't give in. This won't last, it's not the end, it's not the end. You're gonna be okay. When the night is closing in, don't give up and don't give in. This won't last, it's not the end, it's not the end. You're gonna be okay.
Sometimes we just need to hear that message that you're going to be okay. Would you guys join me in our serenity prayer? God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Amen. Guys, I hope you embrace today for what it is, a new day. Another day in recovery. Another day of freedom. That you take advantage of every opportunity you have to learn to grow. As always, you're in my thoughts and prayers. God bless you. I'll see you soon.